Alright guys, so today we are going to be doing CHING number 66. I'm still a bit behind with my CHING, so these are slightly older, not actually up to date. Like, this isn't stuff that sold, say, last week, but, you know, weeks prior. But I am starting to get somewhat caught up, and I apologize for that, but I put like around 30 some items into my CHING videos just so my videos aren't like super duper long, because you guys know I like to ramble a little bit. So we're just gonna start in with we are going to start in with where we left off, and that is a JOSEF Originals little ceramic girl. This one was for the month of December. I like picking these up when I find them. Not all of them really have like a ton of value or anything like that, but this one actually was worth a little bit. And I'm not sure if it was because her head was kind of tilted or maybe just a month that she was or whatnot, but this did sell for $49.99, and I don't remember what I paid for it or where I even got it. I'm assuming I probably got it at a yard sale because that's where most of my inventory comes from. So I definitely paid no more than $1 for her. Next we have this vintage Halloween magnet tin. This was a Halloween tin that had, I think it was 12 magnets inside. This was from the 80s. I got this, I won it at an auction. It was a box lot just of random stuff thrown in a box, and this isn't what I wanted from the box, but you guys know when I go to the auctions and I win what they call box lots, I'm kind of stuck with, you know, whatever else is thrown in the box that, you know, they put in the box lot. Well, I ended up listing this and it sold for $29.99, which surprised the hey out of me because I wasn't expecting that. So when I sold this, that was when I was like mentally thinking like, wow, I need to keep my eye out on magnets a lot more because I thought that was a crazy sale. Just a little mind blowing there. But yeah, I couldn't tell you what box lot that came from with the item that I wanted out of it. Who knows? Maybe that item is still listed, and you know, the random stuff. It's the random stuff that always seems to sell. It's crazy. Same with these next two items. This was a set of 2 anchor hocking little, like, they had a crimped edge, kind of like vases, I guess you would call them. There was a green one and a red one. I decided to lock them up because in my mind they just screamed Christmas, so I made sure to put Christmas in my title. And those sold for $12.99, so not a whole lot, but again, like I said, they were just kind of extras from a box lot that I won at the auction. So, you know, those little things that you don't really think might sell, that do sell, it does add up, so that's always nice. Next item went to a subscriber, and it was a pair of TORRID Palazzo pants. Those sold for $25.99. They may have come from a thrift store. I am not entirely sure. Eric and I, side note, and this is why I ramble so much, Eric and I went to 2 thrift stores today, and oh my gosh, it's been a long time since I've gone to a thrift store, and if today was any inclination, once yard sales are over, I am screwed because wow, there is like nothing at the thrift stores and everything is priced so high, and just it's not anything good. So I didn't get anything, and we went to 2, so I'm a little concerned come, you know, this winter where I'm going to be sourcing from, since I'm not gonna have yard sales. We are tossing around the idea of potentially buying a pallet, so we'll see if we do that, and you guys will hear all about it if we decide to. Next we have a Fenton milk glass hobnail. This was like a small crimped bowl. This also went to a subscriber. That sold for $12.99, and I'm pretty sure that came from an auction on a tray of other white Fenton hobnail pieces that I had won. Oh, and sorry guys, the next item she purchased as well, which was a pair of Lucky brand boots that sold for $25.99. I got these at a yard sale, and I originally purchased them for myself, but I can't remember. I feel like maybe they were a little too tight for me. I'm sometimes like a 6.5, sometimes a 7, so I feel like they were a little too tight for me, so I ended up listing them. Next we have that fiber optic flower lamp. I won this at an auction, and I know it wasn't for much. Sometimes these lamps, these fiber optic lamps, can sell for really good money. It sold for $49.99, and I mean, I probably paid less than $10 for it. Typically when I find these, they're not always in the best condition. Sometimes they're just like really dirty looking or just not pretty, but this one was clean and it worked beautifully and that kind of thing. So I'm glad that I picked that up, but I rarely come across those. Next we have a vintage gem outfit. I purchased this at a yard sale. I think I paid maybe $1 for it. It was in a little baggie. It had a top, a belt, I think, and some tights. And then there was another top that was with it, but that one belonged to a Barbie and the Rockers. Anyway, gem dolls, gem clothes, gem accessories. They are collected by people who obviously, you know, collect gem dolls and things of that nature. So that was a great sale for just one small little gem Barbie outfit that sold for $29.99. So that's awesome. And it was really nice because when I purchased that, they had on the baggie that it was a gem outfit. Otherwise, I might not have known, you know what I mean? So that made it really easy for me as well. Okay, on to the next. We are at, I have a couple clothing pieces in here. This is a top by MAURICES that sold for $14.99, and that came from the Facebook Marketplace garbage bag full of clothes. It had been a while since I purchased anything off Facebook Marketplace to resell, but the past couple of days, Eric and I have been sourcing slightly from Facebook Marketplace, so you guys will see the things that we have been picking up in a video at some point. Next we have another top by MACKIE. This sold for $29.99. I did get this at Goodwill, and I probably paid maybe $5 and some change for it. I sold a BURKE Christmas incense holder. This was a ceramic incense holder. It looked like a little like snowy Christmas themed house. This also was from a box lot from the auction, something that like I looked at and I was like, oh gosh, I don't even know if I want to bother listing this. Like I just, you know, it was something that like I just figured I was probably going to put in like the donate pile. Like it wasn't worth my time to list. But it sold for $12.99. That's why I always question everything. Like I'm looking through stuff like, should I list this? Should I donate this? And I kind of have those like back and forth feelings because it's crazy sometimes the things that people are looking for them. You get what I'm saying? So that was also an interesting sale to me. Next we have a 5 Nights at Freddy's tank top that sold for $19.99, and I did get that at Goodwill as well. I sold a Suzanne Summers lip wrinkle cream. This was still sealed. That sold for $19.99 as well. I had purchased like a box full of Suzanne Summers beauty related items at a yard sale not that long ago. I think I paid maybe $5 or $4 for the box, and I sold a couple pieces out of it already, so that's awesome. I sold a Farm All tractor shirt. I think Eric picked this up, and I want to say he got it at a yard sale. That sold for $18.99. Next was a green fossil leather wristlet. This did go to a subscriber. That sold for $14.99, and that actually, I got for free from a Curb Alert. This was a long time ago, back when I got those boxes filled with vintage Christmas items for free from a Curb Alert. I found that fossil wristlet there as well. Okay, so next is a Lefton Santa planter. I got this at a yard sale. I think I paid $1 for him, and he sold for $19.99. This next item is another Suzanne Somers Beauty related item that came from that same box that the lip wrinkle cream came out of. This one was an advanced night cream that sold for $14.99. I sold a sealed roly-poly-oly VHS tape. I got this at a yard sale. I think I paid $1 for it, and that sold for $19.99, so that was awesome. And then a couple weeks later, after I sold that, I came across a roly-poly-oly. Say that 3 times, really, roly-poly-oly, roly-poly-oly. Anyway, I had some coffee before I sat down to record. I apologize. See, where was I going with that? I came across a roly-poly-oly stuffed plush at a yard sale, and I picked it up because I had just sold that VHS tape, and that plush sold as well, and you will see that in a future CHING video. So safe to say, anytime I find any more roly-poly-oly items, I'm going to buy them. Next we have a Department 56 Cat on a Broom Halloween ornament. This sold for $39.99, and that came from all of that Halloween store buyout I've been telling you guys about and you've been seeing in other CHING videos. So I have a couple of those ornaments in here as well. Next we have a Boys Bears plush frog. This did go to a subscriber. It sold for $5.99, and I picked him up at a yard sale, and I think the lady only charged me a nickel or a dime for it. I just thought it was so cute, and I couldn't let it sit, especially when she said, I think she said 10 cents for that. Next we have a vintage Barbie telephone. So this is just a really small telephone. You would wind it up on the side and then like switch the button, and it sounded like it was ringing basically. These were really popular back in like the late 80s, early 90s. I remember a lot of Barbie like accessories that came out that, you know, kind of made noises and stuff like that. I had gotten this really large bag full of vintage Barbie related stuff at a yard sale, and I still have not gone through the whole thing. I need to sit down and just start listing a bunch of stuff from there, but I already made my money back, and I've been profiting off of just like a couple little things that I've sold. These are just the tiniest little things, and they sell for like $20. It's crazy. So that's why whenever I do come across like vintage Barbie related accessories and stuff like that, I like to pick them up, but it is very time consuming to try and figure out what you're looking at, what year it's from, and that kind of thing. So I mean, if you have the time to do that, it's awesome, and I think, you know, you can make really good money from it, but at the same time it is very time consuming. I sold another JOSEF Originals item. This one was a Tom Mouse ceramic Christmas mug that sold for $19.99, and I got that at a yard sale, and I think I paid about 50 cents for it. I didn't realize that this was like a Tom and Jerry type thing. I just thought it was a mug that belonged to someone named Tom, but I thought it was so cute, and I love the vintage look of it all, so I bought it, and plus it was JOSEF Originals. But yeah, apparently it was like a Tom and Jerry mouse. So this next item was my my biggest sale, I guess you'd say, of this CHING, and that was an Estee Lauder's Pleasures dusting powder. I got this at a yard sale. I think I paid $2 for it. I know it was less than $5. And that sold for $149.99, which is insane. it just boggles my mind sometimes of the stuff that is worth so much that you wouldn't really think is worth that much money, but it is, because it's just, you know, hard to find and people really want it. So that was just a really awesome sale, basically. Next we have a vintage shiny bright Christmas decoration. I was surprised by this one. I figured this would sell for more than it did, but I had a hard time selling it. I thought, you know, it's vintage shiny bright. It was still new in its packaging, and yeah, it sold for $12.99, which is still fine because I paid way less than that for it. I'd say in the grand scheme of things, I probably paid about a quarter, 50 cents for it at a yard sale, but that one did surprise me a bit. I sold an INRI or INRI crucifix rosary for $12.99. I actually found this in a purse. Sometimes when you're buying purses at rummage sales or yard sales and stuff like that, or even thrift stores, you sometimes find stuff left behind in them, and it's impossible for the most part to figure out, you know, what purse it came from, or, you know, who owned it originally, or that kind of thing. So I just went ahead and listed this, and it sold for $12.99. So I saw that as like a freebie. It was a gift with purchase since I bought the purse. Next we have a Department 56 ornament. This one was of a fuzzy spider. Why didn't I keep some of these ornaments? I don't know. I mean, I still have a lot left, but yeah. This one was probably one of my favorite ornaments that came from that store buyout, and this one sold for $29.99. I sold a lot of vintage Mighty Morphin Power Rangers figures. These were just really tiny, maybe like 2-inch PVC type figures that sold for $12.99. I got those at a yard sale, and I think I only paid like 50 cents for the baggie. I sold a Care Bears handprint kit. So this was brand new, still sealed, you know, but older. And it came with everything to make like a handprint type of keepsake, basically. That sold for $18.99. I had that for a very long time. Very, very long time. But it did finally go. Next we have a Pyrex cream and sugar set. I think this was actually in one of my videos I did of just items that I cannot sell on eBay, even like the items that are less than $10 or $10 or less that just will not sell for me. This finally did sell for $9.99. If I ever saw these again, I would run past them. Just run past them if you see them. Don't bother. Don't bother picking them up because they will sit for a very long time. Next we have a vintage Hello Kitty coin purse. I got this at a yard sale. I paid 25 cents for it, and it sold for $19.99. And then the last thing that I have for this cha-ching is a vintage sad face, or it's a sad face teddy bear. It had a rubber face to it. I won this at an auction. I can't remember what I paid for it, but I know it wasn't much. No one was really interested in him. But I am a sucker for vintage plush as well as just weird and unusual things. And this sad face teddy bear got me. I was like, I need that. He sold for $79.99, which is awesome because I know I paid less than 10 bucks for him. But that is everything for my eBay cha-chings. I did ask you guys in my last cha-ching if you wanted to start seeing any other sales that were not eBay related, since I am starting to cross post more onto Mercari, Poshmark, and Facebook Marketplace. I will start putting them into my next cha-ching video. I didn't really have many sales on any other platforms real recently. aren't, like, it doesn't happen very often, but I'm not like cross-posting everything. And right now I'm kind of just like cross-posting my more cheaper items, I guess you'd say, onto Facebook Marketplace, only because I know Facebook Marketplace doesn't have the best customer service. So I'm kind of hesitant about listing anything really expensive on there, just in case anything would happen and I wouldn't be able to, you know, speak to someone about, you know, being scammed or anything like that. I'm a little hesitant. So it's mainly just like smaller items that I'm listing over there. I mean, I haven't had any issues, knock on wood, but I'm just trying to not list anything like super expensive onto Facebook Marketplace. But as far as any kind of issues regarding eBay, I can't think of anything that has been happening recently, but if anything does occur with like the items that I'm talking about within the cha-ching, I'll probably remember a little more. But as far as this cha-ching goes, everything that I went through, I had no issues, and I had no non-paying bidders, so that's awesome. But other than that, you know, it's the same old, same old. I feel like sales are going okay. I don't feel like I'm having a ton of sales, but the sales that I am having are really good. I'm not sure when I looked last I looked, I think my sales were up almost 100%, which is crazy because I like seeing that green arrow pointing up. I don't like to see the red arrow pointing down. So definitely sales are at least up, which is awesome. I just kind of, I guess, was expecting more sales kind of, you know, rolling in because we're getting closer to the holidays and stuff like that. But maybe people haven't really started doing much of that shopping quite yet. I know I haven't personally, so, you know, I don't blame people if they aren't the early shoppers, because I'm not. But yeah, that's everything for this cha-ching. I hope you guys enjoyed it. You'll have to let me know what you thought down in the comments, and I will see you next time.